Is it better to buy now or wait for rates to fall?
Hands down, if you're a buyer looking to buy a home in Newport Beach and you aren't an all-cash buyer, this is probably the number one thought you'd have.
Yeah, and the truth is, most buyers don't even crunch the numbers before deciding that it's the best time or not the best time to buy.
Yeah, I mean, so many buyers just blanket. Right now the rates are high, I don't want to buy. And so because we keep getting this objection over and over and over again in a high interest rate market, we decided to run the numbers so we can bust this myth.
We're doing a little Mythbusters today?
Little Mythbusters today, I can't wait.
I like it. All right, so forget the opinions, let's discuss on actual facts. So what does it look like to buy a $2 million home today? So we're gonna break it down for you, and here's how it breaks down.
Yeah, so a $2 million property today with 20% down, that's $400,000 down, plus $20,000 in closing costs. So you're coming out of pocket about $420,000. A 30-year fix today is 7.25, which makes your monthly payment out the door, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, total $13,198.
Now that we know what it would cost to buy a home today, let's work up some numbers for the future. Now, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. However, based on what we're seeing here in the market and the predictions from the industry experts, we have identified the following.
So the average appreciation for market values is approximately 5% per year. Now, most of the lenders that we're communicating with anticipate rates to stay in the mid to high sixes up to the low sevens in 2024. And in 2025, come down into the low sixes with the rates potentially touching the high fives in the latter part of 2025. And again, this is all educated speculation for the purposes of this exercise.
The same property that you could have bought today for $2 million is now going to be selling for $2,152,500, which is 7.5% appreciation over 18 months. And now the rates are going to be at 5.75%.
Yes.
So let's run the numbers on that.
So for a $2,152,500 purchase price in October of 2025, with 20% down, that's $430,500 for your down payment and $20,000 for closing costs. So right here, there's already a delta of about $30,000 because your down payment is a little bit more with the higher price. Now, in 18 months, a 30-year fixed, we speculate to be around 5.75, which if you talk to a lot of the buyers in today's market, when you say, well, what do you want rates to be at for you to jump off the fence? Most are gonna say low sixes or high fives. So this is kind of where we're at.
You're at $12,491 is your total out the door monthly payment with that scenario that Robert just put together for you. So you're probably like, yeah, look, if you compare it, it's cheaper to wait. It's actually $707 cheaper. But let's discuss the big picture of how that really looks.
And this, you guys, is where you really want to start paying attention because it's honestly mind-blowing. When I was working up the numbers, I was like, oh my goodness. So there are 4 key things that we want to talk about in terms of the differences between buying now versus waiting until rates fall. So number 1, I already talked about it. The amount of money you have to come up with at closing is $30,000 more if you wait versus buying now because the house is more expensive, so the down payment is higher.
And if you wait to buy and miss out on $152,000 in equity, and to make matters worse, not only do you miss out on that equity, but all of the rent that you have to pay over that 18-month period, it just vanishes and goes into thin air as well. So let's say you're paying $6,000 a month, and that's actually reasonable for this area. $6,000 a month, that's gonna be $108,000 rent versus equity loss of $260,000 gone, vanished.
Just gone. All that equity gone because you waited, and all that rent vanished because to your landlord's mortgage.
Someone else's mortgage, correct.
So right now, as it stands, you're $30,000 kind of over budget because of the higher price, and you're also close to $300,000 in missed equity and rent because of waiting. So here's number 3 now. You're probably saying, yeah, well, my payment is still $707 lower. Well, the great news is that you can actually refinance if you would have bought today for $2 million and then you refinance when the rates actually come down to 5.75, because you bought at a lower price, your new monthly payment is $11,515, which is down from the $13,200. Now you're $976 less than compared to if somebody were to wait the 18 months and buy. So that's like $2,000 less. It's crazy.
So there was a lot of information there, a lot of numbers, but the gist of it is, if home prices stayed exactly the same today and you waited, then the answer would probably be yes, minus the rent and various things. But the fact of the matter is, prices are going to continue to appreciate. So there's a lot of other factors than just, hey, the monthly payment today versus the monthly payment in 18 months, right? That's what we're kind of trying to break down here for you. Not to mention, one of the biggest things when buying any home is all the tax write-offs that you have for your interest and taxes. So if you do the math, it's close to $100K in probably write-offs that you could not get if you're just going to continue to rent.
Probably even more. I mean, think about it. If you have a $13,000 a month mortgage, most of that is going to be interest. So let's say $10,000 of it. And if you're paying for 18 months, it's close to $180,000 in missed write-offs because you don't own, you're currently renting. Right. So, and then the one thing that we're not really discussing here, and it makes a really big difference, is think about this for a second. What is everybody doing right now as they figure out when the best time to buy is? They're waiting for the rates to fall. So if people are waiting for the rates to fall, what do you think is gonna happen when the rates hit the low sixes or the high fives?
It's gonna be like Black Friday.
It's gonna be like Black Friday in the real estate world, and all these buyers are gonna jump off the fence and aggressively attack the market. So when we're talking about appreciation over the next 18 months at 7.5%, it actually could be even more if the buyers get aggressive and we start to see multiple offers driving prices up.
No one does have a crystal ball. The market could go up, it could go down, the rates could fall. They may, however, with this hypothetical scenario and reasonable expectation, the numbers don't lie is the point here. And if you're waiting for the rates to fall before you buy with hopes to get a better deal, you might be waiting for something that just isn't going to happen.
And we say this all the time, real estate isn't a one-size-fits-all. Always talk to a lender and figure out the numbers for yourself, because if you follow the herd mentality, you may find yourself never pulling the trigger. So we want to know, do you think we're crazy? Do you think we're onto something? Let us know in the comments. Do you think it's a better time to buy now, or is it better to wait for rates to fall?